Hello everyone, and welcome back to day 2 of theCUBE's live coverage of the Red Hat Summit here in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm your host, Rebecca Knight, alongside Rob Strechay, talking sovereign AI right now.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking how you actually get AI to be AI, and funny enough, you need a place for it to live. I know it's called cloud, but there's actually servers and stuff underneath, and storage and other things.
There is some hardware there,
yes. There is some hardware.
Excellent, so I would like to welcome our next guest. He is Raghu Chakravarthi, Chief Technology and Product Officer at Core42. Welcome.
Thank you, Rebecca. Good to be here.
Fresh from the main stage, you were part of the keynotes this morning. You did a great job.
Thank you.
Core42 is one of those companies that we are hearing a lot more about. How would you describe what Core42 does and its role in sovereign AI infrastructure?
So that's a good question. People always ask, why 42?
Yeah, right, exactly.
Hitchhiker's Guide to Galaxy, that book, had a computer called Deep Thought, which took about 1 million years to the question, which was, what is the answer to life? Came back with the number 42. Nobody knows why, right? But our chairman and our founders were really impressed with that book, so they said, everything's going to be 42 with us. So our parent company is G42. It was formed in 2018. It was formed out of a lot of the government entities which had IT operations, and all of those were brought together in a private organization to run a lot of the infrastructure and the software solutions that UAE has. So we are a UAE-based company in Abu Dhabi, and but we are now very global. I am here in the US running as the GM for Americas for Core42, running a lot of the things, right? But G42 services the entire life cycle of AI for any kind of customers, government, enterprise, and so on. So at the lowest level, we have our sister company called Hasna, which builds data centers. We are right now building a 5-gigawatt data center in Abu Dhabi. And we've also gotten a lot of data centers right here in the US. We have 5 that we operate. And we are building data centers and operating them in Europe, in France and Italy and so on. So Hasna builds the data centers, and Core42 is an infrastructure company. So you'll be hearing a lot about infra because that's where everything is these days. So we take over a data center and we acquire both the compute nodes and the GPU nodes and storage, and we assemble it, operate it, and we network it. As you know, networking is key. So we have expertise in each one of these areas and we operate them. And we literally offer 3 basic services. On the AI side, we offer bare metal as a service to our large AI lab customers. We offer a GPU as a managed service for our mid to smaller customers who can come in and do GPU slicing. And then we have our token factory service through our portfolio product called Compass. So Compass is not only a model router and it also services a lot of the needs that customers have for tokens. So in the core, we have 2 main first principles. One is diversity. Diversity in silicon, diversity in location, and diversity across who we serve. So diversity in silicon, we work with NVIDIA, we work with AMD, we work with Qualcomm, and we are a large investor in Cerebras, and we are the largest operators of Cerebras clusters. Diversity in location, we operate in the public cloud. You want GPT models, we service them through a private offering in the UAE, through our own PTU cluster. And we also offer models from Anthropic, from AWS, so it's diverse. And from a storage standpoint, we work with all of our major partners, VAST, Weka, and DDN, and we offer a diverse set of storage solutions. And the second thing is about, model diversity, and the whole diversity is important, but we talked today about sovereignty. Our key differentiator and a key offering is all about sovereignty, and that's a major focus for us. And then above us sits a lot of the sister companies which actually build large language models, and also those which build SaaS applications and agentic applications that we host. We are the infra that we host and offer it to the world. And some of the things we are doing that is innovative is this. In UAE, the UAE government is interested in propagating AI because they think that's the next oil. So there's heavy investments going on in terms of that. And the UAE is trying to work with various nations that need AI capabilities, but they can't consume it right away. And we are doing these things called digital embassies, and we call it Green Shield, where we can actually host some of the sensitive workloads that these countries want to run, and provide them with the infra, provide them with the operational capabilities, and take it from there.
Yeah, I mean, I just love it because, I mean, again, we were talking before coming on here, and I've known Core42 since its founding, and as a partner in a previous life, and I think what's really nice about it is it really was focused on sovereign, it was focused on open, it was focused on a lot of it. You said a word on stage this morning that is near and dear to my heart because I've actually built some of the software underneath there, is OpenStack, and then there's OpenShift. Kind of help folks understand the relationship with Red Hat as a partner, and those two things and how they play a role in what services you guys provide.
Yeah, so Red Hat enables sovereignty for us. So we've been working with Red Hat for the last 2 years in our sovereign private cloud offering. So when it comes to sovereignty, there are two major dimensions. One is the data classification, and the other, so in data classification, it's about top secret, secret, and confidential and public. This is how the classification is done, right, in terms of sovereignty. So that is an important component that Red Hat, OpenStack, and OpenShift lets us implement. And the other half is about three things. Sovereignty, when I talk about sovereignty, everybody says, oh, data sovereignty. Yeah, that is one of the components, not everything, right? So the most important component there is data. You need to have data residing in country. So that's good. We have our own software stack and the hardware stack, and we do that. But the second thing is about operational sovereignty. They want people in country operating the whole environment, right? So it cannot be a public cloud type environment, right? It needs to be on-premise and so on. And the third thing is about technology sovereignty. I talked about the kill switch this morning. So we cannot have an environment which can be having a kill switch that can be controlled from the outside and the whole environment dies. Red Hat is the main thing. We evaluated other solutions. There are other solutions, which is USA-based and European-based and Chinese-based, and we don't like any of those. Red Hat was the ideal thing because it doesn't have a kill switch. It gives me the technology sovereignty I need, and it enables the other two dimensions that we need in terms of data and operational. So that's why we started working with them on the sovereign private cloud. Now, with OpenStack on OpenShift. Now they have this whole OpenShift AI, and now it's being rebranded as Red Hat AI. I'm bringing the same component and the same level of flexibility and sovereignty to the AI side, which is very nascent, by the way. There isn't many players there who offer a cloud management platform and so on. So Red Hat and us, we're going to pioneer and work together to build that same level of flexibility and sovereignty on the AI side.
So talk to that, because again, with sovereignty, a lot of the folks that you guys have clients and customers of are looking at, hey, I have something in the UAE, but I also need to have it operate in the EU somewhere as well. Kind of talk to that flexibility and resiliency and how that all plays together.
Correct. So we have this whole notion of AI intelligence grid, right? So these are connected data centers that enables compute to be that lives in UAE, whether it's GPU or CPU compute, to be connected with the ones in Europe, to be connected with the ones in US. It brings about many different dimensions, but first of all, it's the same AI OS that we will use, right? And that OS is sovereign by nature. We built sovereign capabilities in it. But what does that mean, right? Like, so sovereignty, what we have built in is a set of controls and a landing zone. And that landing zone can exist in Azure or in AWS in the public cloud, and the same landing zone can be enabled in your private cloud and on-prem, by the way, right? Like all these three environments. So what that means is it makes it a single OS, a single platform that I can deploy across multiple locations, multiple types of deployments, and what that brings about is operational simplicity. We are reducing the complexity around all of these. It brings about an operational simplicity, so with a single click of a button, I can see the entire network, all connected, across multiple data centers. I can see what is more utilized, what is underutilized, and I can actually now do distributed inferencing, distributed workload management through all of these in a sovereign manner, right? Like, so we're bringing those capabilities around. So that connected AI intelligence grid is the core foundation that we have built everything on. And the enabler for this is the OS, and we're building a lot of those capabilities with Red Hat, like I'm building it on OpenStack and OpenShift.
There's a real conversation happening right now about whether AI is separating along geopolitical lines. And I'm curious from your vantage point, is that something that is already happening now? Are you seeing that play out right now in terms of the big picture?
100%, yeah. So, US is the #1 producer of AI, right? Like all of the hardware, the software, and all the agentic stuff. But the #1 consumer, like if you go read the Microsoft distribution report, diffusion report, that they published in December, January, the #1 consumer of AI is not the US. US is actually the 28th or the 23rd consumer of AI. So the actual consumption's happening, the #1 consumer in terms of population is UAE. It's 68% of the population is consuming AI. And it's folks in Asia which are consuming, right? So we need the technology and the resources to be in locations where it's useful. Right now, a lot of the technology and the deployments are happening in the US, so we are actually serving inferencing needs halfway around the globe from here in the US. Latency, cost, and everything it's not efficient. So I think we need to propagate AI more across the world and make resources and things available. And this is exactly what UAE is doing with two types of initiatives. One is UAE's already realized like this is the next oil, all right? Like, so they are diversifying, and they are doing two things. One is what we call digital embassies. So digital embassy is, think about it, what is an embassy? Embassy is a jurisdiction or a piece of land in a foreign country that is completely administered and from a foreign land. Right? I mean, it's a foreign property in US, right? So we think about that for digital. So we are creating these embassies in UAE because we have the resources, we have the capability and the expertise to build AI and all of these clouds, and we are renting these embassies to foreign governments to perform their critical tasks. But it's not just technology, right? The UAE government is putting its might behind saying, I'll do a government-to-government relationship and a trust deal where you can bring your data from your country, secret data, maybe confidential data, and you can do that compute in my country, but I won't interfere, this is your property, right? Like I'll give it to you. And they are funding it. There is $1 billion investment UAE has made into France and Italy and India and Kenya and so on to fund AI resource and AI initiatives. And there is a similar commitment that UAE has made to the US to do equivalent amount of investments right here, right? So I think the geopolitics is playing a thing, but I think UAE and G42, we are trying to make it easier, make it better for the world to consume AI, and we are going about it in our own way, multiple directions, yeah.
I mean, just playing off of that and the fact that I love the idea of embassies. That's such a good way to think about the sovereignty of that land, you're landing, and I'm going to steal that. So that was great, that is fantastic. I love that you guys are doing that, because when you start to look at sovereignty, it's not just about place.
Correct.
It's about the data, it's about the administration. How do you look at AI sovereignty into the future, and what role is Red Hat helping you guys with that?
Oh. I had a good talk with the Neural Magic folks yesterday.
Yeah.
The founders.
Yeah, Brian and the team there, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Amazing,
yeah.
Amazing. I think there is something there, all right? So what they are thinking about is from the ground up, as Red Hat always thinks. So VLLM,
Yeah.
That is our inferencing platform, right? Like model serving platform is VLLM. Wonderful. So we use that right now to serve a lot of our open source models and so on. Next is, how do I scale it?
Yeah.
LLMD, right? Like how do I scale that, right? Like so, LLMD is the next level of token economics.
Yep.
Right? So now, with the scale that I want to bring, I want to have as much cash hit as much as possible so that I can produce more tokens for the same amount of GPUs I got.
Right.
So perfect, right? They're building that. And now I was brainstorming with them yesterday about the next level. So sovereignty requires confidential compute. AI and confidential compute is very nascent right now, right? Like, yeah, NVIDIA enables it, but I'm thinking diversity. I have AMD there, I have Qualcomm there, I have Cerebras there. How do we bring confidential to all of these so that it can be in that mode, right? Like, and then comes they're thinking about encryption. All the way from the prompt, from your chatbot, to all the way to the back, like, can we encrypt so that we can bring a little bit more security to the sovereignty that we are talking about, right? So all of these are areas that Red Hat's already thinking about, I'm interested in, so it's a wonderful partnership. Like, so we did great, like on the OpenStack, on OpenShift, and we are taking it to that next level on the compute side, but AI is still nascent, and I think Red Hat's thinking about it the right way, in many ways.
Raghu, thank you so much for coming on the show. A really fascinating conversation.
Thank you very much, appreciate it.
I'm Rebecca Knight for Rob Strechay. Stay tuned for more of day 2 of the Red Hat Summit here in Atlanta. You're watching theCUBE, the leader in enterprise tech news and analysis.